Thought I'd do it more colorfully this time. Purson, Pursan, Cvrson, Curson. And the chant, ZMZ, second word, QVXLIV, third word, LM, fourth word, XZ, fifth word, capital, K, FIHLM. Zmz lemkz kdehum zmz kvxliv lemkz kdehum zmz kvxliv lemkz kdehum zmz kvxliv lemkz kdehum. Okay. So, V.K. Gehenna says that it has 22 legions. I'm not going to repeat when more than one source says the same, so that's just where I'm starting. 22 legions, a king, a day demon. The numbers are 636, 642, 1,286, 1,296. Plants include bloodrot, red carnation, saffron, frankincense, and orchid. It teaches insulting speech. It teaches deception. It teaches great art, theft, escape, communion with the shades of the dead. Konstantinos says that its prophecies are random. Oh, Konstantinos says that it's it's very knowledgeable in history. V.K. Gehenna says that its prophecies are of a random nature. Stephanie Connolly says that Pope Honorius has it listed as a subordinate. Michael W. Ford divides his legions between virtues and thrones. Yeshab, Sathan. There's, when we talk about thrones and dominions and all that, we might not always be talking about the same type of angel. So keep that in mind. Your typical grimoire is going to say that it knows of things, past, present, future, finds treasures, talks about secrets of creation, and talks about the goodly things of earth, supposedly has good familiars. Trumpets are sounded before him, and lion-faced, riding a bear, holding a serpent. And some are going to say, no, it's brandishing a tool, but that looks as much like a lion's face as you're probably going to find among the symbols. So that's pretty close. James Donahue says that it rides a black bear, so just a bear. Could it be Prufflos, as mentioned in the Dictionnaire Infernal? Because, the appearance is listed as that, and it doesn't list Pursan. S.L. McGregor Mathers says that it can transport a body through the air. I would ask you whether or not Pursan reminds you of Hanuman or Horus. And It has a lunar planetary figure, past, present, future, never lies. And godsandmonsters.com says that. Stephanie Connolly says that it's consulted in regards to scientific experiments and questions on the divine intelligences and natural sciences. By divine intelligences, it's believed that the planetary spheres or the planets have, angels over them. Other scents include acacia, angelica, bay, bergamot, chamomile, cloves, dandelion, lemon, grapefruit, lemongrass, locust, marigold, mistletoe, myrrh, orange, rosemary, safflower, St. John's wort, and sunflower. And if you can garden, this is an important thing to do, to have a variety of, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, have, a plant for each, or a plant representing each of that symbolism would be a nice thing to have in one's garden. F major through A minor with, G major in the middle would be the traditional musical tone for the sun. The O and A has D minor, mode 7 and mode 8, Hypolidian, and 126.22 hertz is a B in the 8th under octave, 118.3 beats per minute, 449.9 hertz over 440 hertz, plus 38.1 centimeters. Did I say acacia, angelica, and all that? Yeah, I think I did. The first half of the morning and the last half of the afternoon are the times that are typically listed for the kings in the Goetia, of which, rather than 9, we're looking at 10 here. And as I've pointed out here, perhaps the king is listed as number 20. And just as number 33 is also it can also be considered as the king of fire, this one the king of water. So whether or not you side with that opinion, 2011 was my first ritual experience with the exorcism regarding here. So let's look at some of the language involved. Pursan is a commentator, or making exegesis would be Pursanut. And we have purse, split, hoof, spread, divide, part, deal, hoof, tear, spread, stretch, scatter, break, open, chop, spread. Persh, spread, dung, spread out, chew, scatter, distinctly, sting. And okay, I want to have it all in one place. Persh is plainly horseman. And by the way, during the time of Moses, this is what the script for that scripture would have been. So some people, you'd figure it would ride a horse because it relates to that language. Anyways, pun is turn, face, or corner, lest, not, peradventure. Pus is end, wrist, sleeve, color, part. Per, tread, bull, fruitful, open the head, bullock. Par, decoration, glorify, beautify, boast, bow, glory, turban, goodly, beauty, ornament, tire. Pour is crush, wine press, bring, broken, take. Sun is pierce. Push is spread, excess, extremity. Son is pierce, weapon, warrior, to pierce with a weapon. Okay, sun is also thorn, hate, thorn seed. Scene is shield, buckler, target, hook, cold. Shun is sharp, teeth, continue, tooth, ivory, crag, forefront. And the last word that I'm going to mention here is shan, which is rest, ease, or tumult. And using a colonnade candle representing, I just say it. Let's leave that open because I don't know quite what I meant there. But 9. This is Tuesday, the 28th of June, 2011, 9:19 to 10:03 p.m. I was in Delta state. All was louder, clearer. I was a tingle with a sense of power. A vibration went through the air. Something else was there in the center of the scrying area. It had an upwards motion, like rising mist. I saw a series of white layers that weren't smooth. I felt warm and drifted off, surrounded by clouds of color. And the signal is low. I think it's going to be able to hold this time, but it is not intentional if the whole thing cuts off again. And I just, return tomorrow. So 2012. And gold or yellow for the symbol is a rather important thing to do. And as you see, I have more verses here. Okay. So let's start with some Greek. Pou is where, in, what manner. Anywhere, at any time, I suppose, perhaps. Para, near, beside, towards, during, beyond, except, near. Paros, before, formerly, in front, rather than before. Pauros, very little, smart, short. Perusi, last year. And, okay, so Latin here. Parse is a part, fraction, section, or share. Purus, clear, clean, free from dirt or filth, or a mixture. And it's interesting to note how, I think I've already said this on this channel, but the Georgia Guidestones in the Greek, something interesting is said, but in the other languages on the capstones, it gets even more interesting. Actually, I don't know the Sanskrits. It's interesting, but maybe not as interesting as the Greek Verni. But anyways, I'm back to my subject. Par is open or gape. Again, returning to the ancient Aramaic. I don't like to say biblical Hebrew because it was spoken by a lot of people. Par is a fire from alongside in competition. Okay, I'm gonna. Shan, lean, support. Shan is also rest, or staff, stay, rely. Par is decoration, decorate, glorify. And in Latin, we have persona, which is the character in the world or a book or a performance. You know, the mask of a special actor, usually made of clay, sometimes wood or bark. Persona, to sound throughout, to resonate, to ring with. And some more ancient Aramaic, we have pre, which is fruit, bough, reward, fruitful, stubbornness. In the blessings for the food, obviously, this is an important one. You know, blessed be you who created fruit from trees or fruit from earth, or that sort of thing. Putzer, press, file, urge, putcher, potter, and par is beautify or turban. More Greek. Passion, booty, prey, pledge, reprisal, amends. Son, arxon, is together at once, with, in company with, together with, in connection with, in accordance with, furnished with. By means of. In Latin, we have pires, which is a pear tree. Back to Greek, Purson, oikeo, live together before. Pura, a place where fire is kindled, a funeral pyre, a burning place. Par is a fire, lightning, fire sign, fever, blaze. Pur in the ancient Aramaic would be to crush or to press or to break. We're going to see that connected more to, that phrase is going to come up later. You have a lot of crushing and fire and stuff associated with demon names. Paros, a passage, a ford, a straight thoroughfare, water, hill, Greek, means of achieving resource, revenue. Russan is a halter or bridle in the ancient Aramaic. Paros in Greek is disabled or lame. Did I say par as a beast, a bough, a beauty, or goodly in the ancient Aramaic? Did I say persena or porsena or parsina? Yeah, I did not say that Latin one. Made war against Rome in the cause of a king of Clusium. So let me make sure that there's not any. Okay, there's more ancient Aramaic to go over. Par, break, void, defeat, disannul, disappoint, frustrate, not, cease, divide, dissolve, cease, clean. Shinon, twice, angel. Again, per, tread, bull, oxen, open the head, bullock, calf, young. Yishin, previous, sleep, remain, old. There's different words for sleep and stuff, which is important to consider when considering the sophistication of the ancients and the specific thing addressed in a chant. Pursun is a peasant or village. Shenan, sharp, prick. Shani, carp, scarlet or crimson. shun, sharp, teeth, continue, crag, forefront. Sound is a weapon or battle. Asun is harm, mischief. San, pierce. Shana, year or sleep. Remember that the word for year means at least 2 months. I'm not sure if it requires any more than that, but it could be thousands of years in terms of how it's referenced also. Asen, harm. Sanin, thorn. Parar is blackness. Sanan, thorn. Sun is pierce or thorn seed. Persha is account, sum, declaration. Rush, Prush is spread, dung, spread out, shoe, distinctly, sting, plainly, horseman. I'm surprised that nobody mentions a horse. It's always a bear. Pursa is a split hoof or claw. Pra is loose, hair, refuge, uncover, naked, avenging, avoid, go bare, let not, perish, long hair, locks. Purse is split hoof, part, tear, deal, spread, stretch, scatter, break, open, chop, purse. Okay. So another experience. Okay. From June 26th, 2012, 9:50 to 10:20 p.m. Amaniox Draco. Dragon's blood incense, animals, rose, representing contact other planes. I'm not sure whether this was used in the ritual, but verses that I don't usually use included from Quran 650, 780, 1700, 41:25. We have Genesis 1:1, Titus 2:12, Isaiah 65:17, James 5:19 through 20. And I guess that's it. But anyways, time seemed to stop as each of the 20 rings occurred. This extended with each successive ring. I felt a wind from behind me, a blast of heat from my right. So that would have been in the north. A floating sensation and a rumbling beneath and over me in succession of feelings in I don't know what that says. In that agar? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. There was an immense presence in the south. There were patterns dominant with yellow streaks and green. Stretched upon a light blue background. So that word missing appears like a THATORGLER, but there's some lines that overlapped in there, so I don't know what it means. I felt a strong vibration within me that went down to even my feet. I became numb from the top of my head to the bottom of my nose and around. I was energetic. Among the wavy and pointy patterns, dominated with red. The sense of a presence shift above the left side of the altar, so in the southwest, when something like a thick yellow ribbon rose up from that spot. I felt heady. The phosphenes were more intense when I felt flushed with warmth. That made it seem like I was a lot bigger than I am. Euphoria rumbled down me, taking pain and discomfort away. I saw fractal patterns in myriad colors. My eyes were wet with the joy of the moment. 29 minutes later, I reached a normative state. So again, do not banish the techniques of ecstasy or whatever some New Age teacher is going to call you when you perform a ritual. Let things last. Now that doesn't mean you're all floating around the room and you don't know where you are, where your physical boundaries are, or that sort of thing. No matter how exalted you are, you're in this physical body. But let's look at what 2014 does. So we may have some changes in my estimate of the ritual there, but 2013 is, yeah, I hope to share that series soon. Someone's going to get me some prints for that New Age religion response stuff. At least I hope they are. So for Egyptian, that relates to what we're looking at. Pursan in Coptic is Porsh, which means to separate, to divide, to split. We have Baharat, which is a journey. To the cemetery. It's a ceremony of Apis, that sacred bull. The ceremony of running of the bull before the capture for sacrifice. A journey. Oh, a journey of the circuiting of Apis. We have Bahari, which is a runner. And it's a title of what people say about a sun divinity. And going further on here, we have Purson, which is a cake. Cakes of light. Well, not necessarily. Pursa is in the house of Orion. And interesting, is the decan, is the third decan of Taurus Orion? Per Shu, a festival of Shu. And if you look at the Georgia Guidestones, what do you see? You see that right there. But there's a festival of Shu. But the Georgia Guidestones are talking about what's the word? They're talking about the days of Shu. And for this ritual, we have Friday the 28th, 2013. And 10:25 to 10:44 p.m. Genesis 1:1 Isaiah 65:17, Titus 2:12, from Quran 650, 777 through 181, 17, 100, 41, 25. And just like in the language, is going to cue you into a lot of what relates to either your operation as a carcist or an exorcist. The verses here may expound on on what is said in the grimoires, or at the very least contains those themes. Prunus is cherry, so cherry candle symbolizing growth. I don't know if that's the same cherry candle in the corner there. Okay, before I share the experience, there is definitely, when you go over the issues, whether you're going to have psychological results, definitely physiological results if you're in pain or you want to feel different in a sensual sort of way, that can happen. You definitely get answers to things and by meditation, but the most practical thing is the discipline of your mind and that level of focus and directing. It has uses otherwise. But 10:25 to 11:44 p.m., I saw flashes of green and red textured like a natural stone wall. I was in a pretty poor conditioned apartment with stucco and whatnot, so this is, it wasn't a pattern anywhere in that building. I felt buzzy. There was a presence in the south above the tree-like blocks to the south, and the tree-like blocks were those things, yeah, on top of those containers over there. It's the same ones. It occupied a space at least several feet across. I felt heady. There was a turquoise blue glow on the floor. I trembled for a little bit before a cold rush came down, leaving me chilled with a tingling joy all over me. Even after its waves were over, my normal state of sensitivity and something returned at 10:51 p.m. Normal sensitivity and stretching. Sometimes can't read my writing afterwards. But when you look back at results, you're going to see that there's some correlations between one and the other. But so whether we're talking kings or number 20, we can definitely try to tie these to this meditation at hand. Is with all, is of abundance, said 19 times probably. Yod, 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 yod,
Yond, 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 yawn, yawn. O you swords of the south, which have 42 eyes, to stir up the wrath of sin, making men drunken which are empty. Behold the promise of God and his power, which is called amongst you a bitter sting. Move and show yourselves. Open the mysteries of your creation. Be friendly unto me, for I am the servant of the same your God, the true worshipper of the highest. Na Pai Baba Gen Das Bren Vaksoaona Lureng Van Pa No Ales Alargorsba Das Kesafa Mikmaes Romad Udlan Shetox Das Evmadaing Grosam Zakarad Zamran Ada Kikrika Zorgelap Zero Nakamad Hawaveda. It felt like, for a moment, in that throbby feeling on my face when it first appeared, that my eyes had opened. And I am thinking about how anger has to be withheld. And there was a bluish purple weave around the stone sphere, and it felt for just a little bit that something else was here over me, over the rock in this space of ritual contemplation about interaction. And if there isn't any further question, I'm reminded of how connections are made between one thing and another that you just can't seem to make. But then you do a ritual or spiritual practice or whatever you want to call it. And in the middle, you think of a solution. Fitharzi vom sarg, peace be upon every one of you. Oh yeah, and I felt a cooling sensation. Not really a temperature sort of thing, just relaxing with the cooling that I don't really explain too well. But anyways, Fitharzi vom sarg, peace be upon every one of you.